Hello my friends, so I welcome you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. And basically in today's session I have channeled about three things in particular, okay? So the first thing that I asked about is about what really happened in the 9/11 attacks, which many of you wanted to know as per the polls that I had done on my YouTube channel, community posts. And yeah, this information actually blew my mind. And also at the same time, to be truthful, I'm a bit scared to share this information because I do not want the agencies, the three-letter agencies, there are so many like CIA, FBI, to come after me. Okay, I'm actually a bit scared, to be truthful. Okay, because this information is a bit out there. And actually the thing is, it goes deeper than we actually thought, okay? So this thing is deep. So I hope, people will use their discernment because I'm just a messenger, okay? So don't come after me, I'm just a messenger, so okay. And the other thing that I have asked about is about I don't know if you have noticed this, but I received a lot of email to ask about Elena Danaan and Ismael Perez. Now, if you do not know what is happening, Ismael Perez has claimed that Elena Danaan, who is also a light worker, kind of a YouTuber who shares information. I mean, it's amazing. But Ismael said that Elena has been compromised by a artificial entity. Okay, so I wanted to know if this is the truth, and many of you had sent me emails. So finally, we are going to ask about that. And the other thing is, the last thing that I have asked about is tarot and astrology. Like many of you know that there is a science of tarot, there is a science of astrology. So what role does it play in our spiritual awakening? I wanted to know that, like all of you wanted to know. And in this session, they have talked about that. And basically, yeah, this session is actually full of information useful for you. And I hope you will enjoy it as I did enjoy listening to it. And before the session begins, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for liking the video, as it helps to reach out to people, light workers, star seeds, wanderers, just like us, who need this information at this time to awaken, okay? And before the session begins, I will play a short clip of what Ismael Perez had said, so you will have a basic understanding when you watch the session, okay? And after the session ends, I will open up a beautiful gift which I have received. So here is the session, my friends. Enjoy it.
About with Elena Danaan?
Yes. Yeah, so let me just correct myself. It's not that she physically died. It's that her body was overtaken through a parasite from within. So now the Dracos are using her as a host. So it's no longer her. It's still the same body, but it's no longer her soul. And that...
I am Metatron, now speaking through this channel, and I shall now share my message from the angelic realm using the vibrations of the Earth planet. And I would request all divine love light childs of the universal divine grid programmer to only listen to those thought forms which provide with inner satisfaction, and leave those which do not provide a resonance of thoughts within the self. As the divine light grid programmer has provided each entity with the free will on the planetary sphere, each has the opportunity to understand and judge every thought form which is now being transmitted through this channel's vibration. However, we and our location in the angelic realm cannot use words accurately as they create distortions in the mind space. The best communication occurs in the form of vibrations. We shall now communicate and share my thoughts, which can be shared at this time with each divine love-light child who have incarnated at this time in this planetary sphere with a certain mission of the self. The first query, which pertains to who was really behind the 9/11 attacks. In this regard, I, as Metatron, would state that this event was created with the purpose of distorting mind activities of certain entities, known as the entities as beings who work for the betterment of human collective consciousness. Inside the so-called Trade Center, there were a subdivision of entities who were working for creating a type of currency which was decentralized. However, this was happening on a secret basis, and the perceptions which were present within at the time only provided certain beings with knowledge of such a activity. The Orions and the Reptilians and the Greys, upon finding about this activity, were able to pick up on this secret project after a certain entity led to the creation of this event known as 9/11, wherein a so-called plane was used as a distraction mechanism and diverted to the Twin Towers as known by your people. However, this was not the real event which happened. This was what was televised to your people. The real event was the so-called reptilians. They were able to use a quarantine flap opening of the Earth's quarantine field, and they were able to enter the planetary vibration of the Earth planet. Then they were able to replace their bodily complex as George W. Bush, who at the time was the leader of the location wherein such event happened. Because of the soul swap of this entity, there was chaos created because many of the internal decisions it started to make at the time, and this led to the culmination of the event. However, the planes were supposed to be a distraction. The real event which happened was a portal was created at the Twin Towers wherein the decentralized currency project was being confiscated by the Orions using the portal and the device which was being used as the articulation ascension machine, which was handed by the positive forces to some groups, which was created mainly by the Galactic Federation, was confiscated by the negatively oriented Orions and their reptilian counterparts. By opening a portal, they were able to then take this device under their control. Furthermore, I, as Metatron Magnetic Consciousness, would state that the events of 9/11 did not happen as was televised by your social media platforms at the time. There was a layer of distortion created in the so-called distortion mechanism of the system, as the discovery of bodies of many of the beings who were genetically modified and reptilian bodies were discovered after the event, and some of the bodily vehicles used by the reptilians could not withstand the energy blasts from the generation of the portal which was created, hence their consciousness dislocated from the body, and their dead bodies were found by some of the people who were the first correspondents into that location at the time space. This led to the creation of confusion. If the revealed to the planet, the bodies would create mass hysteria amongst the people of the Earth planet, because of the fear that the truth that this event was created by extraterrestrial entities would be a mass hysteria creating event. The so-called televised version was used to distract the human collective consciousness from the truth, and each divine love-light child was not able to find the proper disclosure which would have had happened at the time, which would have led to certain changes in the ending of all religious systems and other subtle changes. Therefore, I, as Metatron, shall answer the other query, which is the entity known as Elena Danaan by your people a so-called soul-replaced entity known as a droid, and is the claims made by the entity known as Ismael Perez against the entity known as Elena correct? I, as Metatron, would like to state that this revolves around your planet's interaction with the creative thought forms of thoughts, dark web. As I, Metatron, must state that each thought composes of words and images, and each thought, which is unregulated, will create disharmony within the incarnation cycle of the universal divine grid programmers. I must state that the entity known as Elena has not been compromised, as we can sense, as from the vibrations emanating from this entity. However, the reason why there is a attack of thought forms between the entity known as Elena and Ismael Perez, as known by a people's vibration, is a karmic balance which is occurring. The entity known as Elena, around a period of around 4 to 6 months ago, had used the same type of system of blaming another entity known as the Ashtar command and discredited them, who were positive beings, but the entity known as Elena discredited them and made them to be negatively polarized entities at that time space. And this karmic balance is now playing out in the hands of Ismael Perez, who realizes the positive nature of the Astro Command groups, and therefore this is but a balancing of the karmic activities of the entity known as Elena by the use of the entity known as Ismael Perez, even though it may realize that this is a distortion. I now address the final query which I can sense, which is the purpose of tarot and astrology in spiritual awakening. I, as Metatron, must state that the purpose of tarot and astrology is to provide the people of the Earth planet who are the universal divine love childs with the opportunity to become self-aware of themselves, and the tools such as tarot and astrology will allow this facility which aid each entity in the understanding of the self at this time more and more clearly, as the self-awareness is the greatest objective of each divine grid programmer's love child at this time, as without self-awareness no entity would have the opportunity to realize a higher purpose. The fields of study of tarot and astrology would provide entities with self-awareness, for in the self-awareness of the belief systems which lie in the subconscious portions of the mind would provide each entity with the recognition of but self-awareness of the self as required in each timeline, which will lead to the culmination of the expansion and opening of the vibration of the self. The reason behind tarot and astrology is such that each entity, what beliefs are placed upon a certain timeline projection, will find itself in such a timeline. The tarots and astrological systems of study have the power of implanting the seeds of suggestion in the subconscious, and if accepted by the belief system, each entity will find in such a timeline of which they believe upon. And each self-awareness of each divine grid programmer is the greatest quality to learn at this time, to raise oneself to the level of the universal and divine light grid programmer, is to become ultimately self-aware to such an extent of the self. And I, as Metatron, must state that there is but one free will on the Earth planet, and that free will is the choice of storing memories in your subconscious. As each entity has the free will to change the memories of their past, they can change any events they want to, and they can store any event in a certain way they want to. It is their choice which pathway they will choose, either the path of love or either the path of the third density reality. And based upon the memories which they will hold on the subconscious, they will find themselves projecting outwards in the illusion reality the same type of choices, and this is the basic free will which can be exercised by each. Therefore, I, as Metatron, leave you now. Turn to the mountain of light within your own self. Bye.
So my friends, after watching the session, I hope you have gained some understanding like I have. And basically, what I have understood is that, look, they have said, Metatron has said, is that the 9/11 attacks, there is something deeper. Okay, like let me explain to you what I understood. Okay, I've written it down over here. Let me explain to you. The first thing is, look, what was televised on the TV was not the entire truth. Okay, there was something deeper going on. And what Metatron said is that they were trying to create some kind of, decentralized currency in the Twin Towers, and this was under the assistance of Galactic Federation. So they were trying to create some kind of currency, New Earth currency, I believe. Okay, decentralized currency at that time, and the negative entities, they wanted to stop this. So what they did was they used a flap. So our Earth has a quarantine, And in certain moments, as you know, there are flaps which open up in our quarantine, so alien ships can come in, right? So the Orions and the reptilians, they came in, and what happened was that they were able to enter into the Twin Towers, and then they were able to take that machine which was given by the Galactic Federation for the betterment of humanity by opening a portal. This was what actually happened, as stated by Metatron. And in order to stop that, they created a portal, and to disguise that, they used a plane to create a distraction for us. Okay, so we thought the plane crashed, and we were like, oh my god, the plane crashed, right? But in actuality, something else happened. This is like way deeper. My mind is blowing up right now. Okay, and listen up, y'all, this is really interesting. The thing about Elena Danaan and Ismael Perez, as you watch the short clip over there in the beginning, what they have said is, look, it's a karmic balance. As you all know, Elena, maybe a few months ago, she may have said Esther command is negative, and this, that, and the other. She was blaming other beings as well. That is negative, this is positive. And I think this is the type of karma that happens. It comes back, right? So after a few months, it's back. So it's a kind of karmic balance which is happening right now. So I think I think it's a good lesson for all of us that no one can escape karma and karmic balance. Okay. So the last thing they talk about is about astrology and tarot. The only thing that I understood is basically what they said is that it is a type of thing for self-awareness. Astrology and tarot, they can be used to become more self-aware of your own self. And one of the things they said is we have free will to store our subconscious beliefs. Okay, we have the free will to store our subconscious thought forms or memories. That's the basic free will we can exercise. And they said, by using tarot and astrology, we can become more self-aware, right? And I hope you understood some things. And if you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below. And I'm going to open up this package, which was sent to me recently. It is from, okay, this actually is from Spirit Compass. Spirit Compass from Bellingham, WA. I don't know WA, what's the full form? But anyways, let me open. Oh yeah, so here you can see we have this beautiful kind of wall decoration. It's amazing. And we have got this thing over here. Let me see. Wow, look at this, my friends. This is amazing, right? Yeah, nice stuff. Thank you so much for sending this as a gift. It's amazing. And we have got something else over here. Let me show it to you. Wow, look at that. This is a heart. Incredible, right? And we have something else. Oh, nice. So we have got something we can wear in our hand like this, right? Amazing. And this kind of things. Wow. I think we have a pyramid over here and a wonderful looking stone. So I want to read the letter finally. It is from Spirit Compass, and the letter says, Dear Sam, we love your messages of love and light. Please keep sharing your gift. We sent you a few things from our online store. So they have an online store, my friends. It's called www.spiritcompass.com. Okay, and what they are saying is, if you use the code SAMSAM, you have 15% off. So if you want to buy some things, like this or like the pyramid, you can buy it from their website, and they said it's 15% off. So I hope if you want to, you can do it. So thank you so much, my friends from Spirit Compass, for sharing this with me. And they also have a YouTube channel, they are saying, where they share information, meditations. Amazing. So I just want to say big thank you to Spirit Compass team and to all of you who watch the videos. And also I want to say big thank you to all of the people who have sent past life requests for their soul name, for the purpose. If they have any other questions, they can share it. They can share it with me, and I will help them to channel the higher self to find the answers. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon, where I share sessions which are not allowed by YouTube, and I also share other sessions on almost 3 times a week. I also share meditations and applications, right? Whatever we learn, we apply in our Patreon. So if you want to go in depth, you can join the Patreon community. And the last thing is, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for joining the upcoming series on UNIFYD TV. The link is on the description. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you for downloading the free PDF. Also, the link is on the description. With that being said, thank you, my friends. See you in the next session.